Alright, today instead of finding a new job, I'll be reviewing the MASTERGRADE Gundam based limited unicorn Gundam Perfectibility. This is a Gundam based exclusive kit, which means you can only get it from the Gundam base. But there are some online sellers out there that might have this, but it will definitely cost you more. Now a little bit about the mobile suit itself. The Unicorn Perfectibility, otherwise known as the RX-0 Full Armor Unicorn Gundam Plan B, is essentially an alternative full armor unicorn Gundam, where instead of the launchers, grenades, and Gatling guns, it is outfitted with every armored type of equipment that has been equipped to the other unicorn variants, along with blue sakura frame. The Perfectibility appears in a short animation clip that was premiered at the Gundam base as far as I know, but you can't find that on YouTube. Just type in Unicorn Gundam Perfectibility and you should find it. And see it in action going face to face with the Neo Zeon. Now for the kit itself, the box is quite large, about the size of the Unicorn MS Cage kit, and it does have some pretty badass box art, but if you want to learn more about the box content, I have the unboxing video I made linked in the description. Now the Unicorn Gundam has two modes, the Unicorn mode, which having its armor closed up, and the Destroy mode, where it exposes its inner sakura frame. In the lore, that means that when it's on Unicorn mode, it's just as good as any other mass-produced suit, whereas if it transforms, that quote-unquote sakura frame grants the pilot a better mental control over the suit. So when the pilot thinks it, the suit does it, while also making the suit substantially faster by activating additional thrusters. Though in the lore, only the new type pilots can be able to activate this. However, the Armed Armor XC, or those wing-like appendages on its back, allow non-new type pilots to utilize this. Now on for the kit itself. I want to do my review on the kit first before we get with the weapons and the articulation and the transformation, because there is a lot to cover. Now, does this kit live up to its name? Well, to many, perfection, or in this case perfectibility, is subjective and would depend on certain aspects. So as a kit, no. As a Mastrgrade unicorn, known for limited articulation and unlimited fragility, yes. I swear they should have called this the Unicorn Fragilitability. Now if you aren't familiar with Mastrgrade unicorn kits, Bandai has been releasing these every year, so it's got a good number of variants. And this is just another one with a different color scheme and equipment loadout. And these have been known to have minimal to passable articulation, but is very delicate, with things like weak ankles and parts falling off at the slightest nudge, as the design and engineering had to make room and sacrifices for its main gimmick, which is the transformation. And this really shows when you work with it. And among the many variants, the basic ones can stand on their own. However, the bigger ones such as this and the full armor unicorn will require an action base. I mean, you can have it stand on its own. I was able to pull this off. However, if you are paying a good amount of money for a kit like this, just buy it an action base. It will save you so much trouble, because trying to get it to stand up is a real struggle. When you do this, parts fall off, or when you get it up right, the knees give out. The knees definitely give out due to all the weight that it's carrying. So yeah, action base. Get one. It doesn't come with it. However, what it does best is look really good on display, which is essentially the purpose of any and all model kit. I'll show you what I mean when I'm giving a few kit comparisons for size and appearance. Its sheer size and contrasting colors will make it really stand out from your collection, and I also like the fact that apart from the white and the blue, it does have this really nice gunmetal gray. Now I'm going to give my rating before we move on to transformation and articulation. As a kit on its own, without any considerations, it is a hard 6.5 out of 10 overall. This is a collector's kit. I wouldn't recommend this to be your first kit or your first unicorn. However, if you do get the chance to get this kit, I would recommend it, because these can be pretty hard to come by because these are base exclusives. And as far as base exclusive kits go, most if not all other ones are just special coded or clear ones, whereas this is an actual variant of a mobile suit itself. So if you want innovation or something new to the table, just wait for a new release. But at the end of the day, it's up to you whether or not this is a priority, whether or not you like how it looks. If you're not into unicorn kits, I guess you can skip on this. If you're not into Universal Century, what are you doing in this hobby anyway? Moving on to the details along with the transformation and articulation, it will be advisable to take off the backpack first. For the head, you get this nice stern look in unicorn mode, and you get different V-fins for you to choose, a folding one and fixed ones. You remove the side plates, and remember the sides you pull them from. You flip open the head to reveal the face, fold the mask inward and then close it. and then reattach the faceplates but rotate it upside down. And then either open the V-fin or attach the fixed one. Now the folded one is more color accurate, being both black and white. The fixed one is much more detailed and looks a lot better, however it is blue all throughout. So it's your choice depending on your preference whether you want it completely color accurate or not. But yeah, disregard all that if you intend to paint this kit. As for the head articulation, it is double jointed and the rotation is there, limited only by the V-fin. The torso is a little tricky. Removing this top part is optional, but it makes it much easier. Now spread it apart this way to expose the sakura frame, and then you flip out these little tabs and put the top plate back. Now that you got that part done, open these little chest plates. On the back, flip up the latch and you see there are 2 notches there. You want to pull the waist down to expose the sakura frame and then attach the horizontal peg there to the second notch. The cockpit can open up, and you do get a number of pilot figures here. Besides Banaja Lynx, you also get Ensign Riddy and Marita Cruz, though the abdomen does not provide any bending articulation, but you do get a full 180 rotation. Moving on to the shoulders, this was a little tricky for me the first time. I broke this on my first unicorn, but it turns out this was pretty easy. All you need to do is hold this inner part by this slit and rotate it downward, and you should see a gray part. It should reveal that sakura frame, and you just rotate this little shoulder piece accordingly. Now I like to give it this little push here inward, just to loosen up the hinge that's inside there. Again, this is optional, but it makes things just a little bit easier. For the arms, we'll do the right one first. Make sure the hand is made into a fist with the thumb pointed downward. Now fold the gun in. The armature should flip out. Now flip this up and fold the whole thing in. It should look like this. Now gently pull the rails to expose the sakura frame. And now for the left arm, it's much more straightforward. Just open up the claws. Now all the appendages here are on hinges, so simply put, they only open and close like this. The shoulders and arms rotate just fine. You get a 90-degree elbow bend. And the hands you get have articulate thumbs and trigger fingers, and the last 3 fingers are on one piece. And on the forearms, you get these little compartments that conceal the beam sabers, for which you can mount the blue beams it comes with, or use the beam sabers as is. The skirts are pretty straightforward. Pull down the sides. For the front, hold it by the little slit here at the bottom and then open it upward. Codpiece opens up like so. Bottom piece first and then the top part. Now this is the Fenix. I just wanted to feature another unicorn variant for those unfamiliar. I'm going to remove the back skirts to better show this to you. Now the rear end has this lock and hinge where if you pull it like this, it will unlock the hip sockets and it'll allow you to lower them. Then just lock the piece again. Now open up the rear skirts to expose the thrusters. Skirt articulation is there. They're all on fixed ball joints and they do not hamper any leg movement. Now for the legs, the outer thigh opens up through these hinges. Pull the leg down to expose sakura frame and close the armor. Gently remove the knee armor. This has 2 turning halves. You turn the bottom one first counterclockwise like so, and same for the top piece. Now reattach the bottom peg. Now to those unfamiliar, this is a Banshee variant I'm going to use for this demonstration. You see the psychoframe peeking behind the gray piece. You need to apply pressure there and push the psychoframe out. You're just applying enough resistance to keep this from retracting. Now attach the small pegs to these little sockets. Now let's do that again one more time. Push the psychoframe behind the gray piece. Just apply enough pressure to keep it in place. And lock the pegs in like so. Keep the rear leg armor open and fold this little psychoframe piece out. Pull the ankle latches on the side. Gently pull the shin and ankle to expose the psychoframe and lock the latches. Reposition the top foot armor so it faces on the front and fits uniformly on the ankle. And then point the side foot armor up. Lastly, flip out the heel and rotate the foot accordingly. The legs have passable articulation, 90-degree front, side, and back kick. Knees are single jointed with a 90-degree bend. And the ankles are at bare minimum. Any more than a little effort applied, then it comes off. Going to the backpack, there's two ways you can transform the armed armor XC. First, you want to fold the two top pieces up, followed by the back pieces. Turn each one to their corresponding side and flip it up like so, and adjust the folded piece. Alternatively, you can have it folded out like this already and have the bottom peg turned like this, with the hole and the wide side facing at the same side. And attach it to the backpack. This is a little tricky. Now the backpack adapter starts in this inverted Y position. Turn the armed armor DEs upside down, and now pivot the arms upward. Adjust armed armor DEs accordingly. For the armed armor DEs themselves, they are straightforward. Just open up the inner psychoframe first. Then open these little wing bits starting from the top. Now from the middle part of the bottom half, pull down. The tail stabilizers are held by a malleable wire for you to position to your liking, but these tail stabilizers aren't very stable. They come off very easily. So this, or if any shield part falls off, remember to apply pressure just here whenever you're fixing it. This is the strongest point. And lastly, open up the backpack thrusters. And you're done. Now for my last thoughts on this kit. Now like I said, this is a collector's item, so unless you're a collector or if you really like the design, I personally wouldn't recommend it 100%. But I'd still say grab one if you had the chance and the money, given that this is an exclusive. So as a kit on its own, it's pretty bad, but as a display piece and any addition to collection, it's absolutely great. And even though this is the only kit that made me want to pick it up and throw it against the wall and quit the hobby, I've been waiting and hoping for so long that Bandai would release this. So the moment Bandai announced this, I was filled to the brim with excitement. I pre-ordered this immediately from my local hobby store, and from the moment I got the box to when I was finished building it, Except for the posing sucked. I had an absolute blast. I have it displayed next to a Sazabi, a Deep Striker, and a Perfect Grade Banshee Norn, and this thing still stands out. And for me personally, that's good enough reason for me to buy the kit and feel that my purchase has been justified. But yeah, I hope this video has been informative. I hope I've helped you some way, in one way, shape, or form. If I did, please leave a like. And comment down below if there's a specific kit you want to see, or if there's something I missed with this one. And please subscribe and hit notifications if you want more content like this. And I'll see you in the next video. Have a great one.
We should all have Sturmgewehrs! You get a Sturmgewehr! You get a Sturmgewehr! Everyone gets Sturmgewehrs!